saw this place on the side of the road. I wasn't really thinking much of it, and I noticed that there's a sign near the entrance that talks about it, the original site of the Trail of Tears. So I thought I'd stop by and see the importance of this place. New Echota. So from what I can understand, the Trail of Tears started here in this area, and this was where the U.S. government had given the land to the Cherokee Nation, and then 13 years later, in 1838, the U.S. government took back that land by bringing a bunch of troops out here, and by force of weaponry, they kicked out all of the Indians that they gave this land to. And what was known now as the Trail of Tears. There was 15,000 Indians that were displaced from their home, and because of the time of year and bad access to medicine and such, a lot of them died. In fact, 4,000 of the Cherokee Nation died on this journey to what ended in Oklahoma. So about 800 miles of really hard territory for these first pioneers of this land to take on. It's a pretty sad story. Check out the visitor center. Well, this is a bigger facility than what I thought when I came up to it. There's a whole they give you a map to show you this whole land. That there's some buildings here. You can check out this. Just check this out. It's like a full-on village. Cool. You get this map that's pretty detailed. It tells you what all the buildings are and a little history of each one. If you were to look this up on a map, I'm sure that New Echota would come up because of the historical value. But on an actual map, the closest town to where I'm standing is Newtown. It's still a very small, tiny little community. That's where the Cherokee Nation first started meeting and organizing in 1819. And then it wasn't until 1825 rather, that the government officially made New Echota the capital of the Cherokee Nation. Barn. This was a barn. Corn crib. Oh. Hello. Love these hand-chipped planks on the side of the house. Some old wood. One of the greatest movies from the 80s is The Jerk with Steve Martin, and for some reason this house reminds me of the house that he grew up in The Jerk. Oh, it's funny. Hidden Mickey? Life to pioneers. This is the house. right in the center of town. Wow. Some old glass. I think about what it must have been like to be one of these community leaders at the time, looking out for the best interest of these people that were trying to make a life for themselves here and alongside people from outsiders, aliens, you might say. And then getting forced out of their home and moved all about the country to strange lands that they weren't accustomed to. The decisions that were made for that community happened right here in this building. It's pretty deep. Definitely walking on the old roadways, pathways around the town to visit these buildings. I wish I could transfer the scent of these old buildings to you. It smells like an old building, you know, just like old wood and a little bit of dust mixed in with fresh air. Check this out. This is really cool. You turn this to generate some electricity. You pick a button.
Cherokee removal was a complex and multifaceted ethnic cleansing that happened across many years and several present-day southeastern states, affecting the entire Cherokee Nation. In the spring of 1838, over 7,000 federal and state troops occupied the Cherokee Nation and erected...
If you don't keep turning it, it just shuts off. It's pretty hot out today. I'm not trying to do any extra work, but it is a pretty good feature. I've never seen that before. Small log cabin, a replica of what used to sit here on this property. I really like the way this park is set up. This is like legal urban exploring, totally. They have all these doors open to all these historical houses that were actually the buildings. There's a couple replicas of the buildings here, but this is cool. I'm the only one out here too. Well, kind of urban exploring. Can't get in these barred doors. It's a pretty nice setup. Stairs to the roof. Some of you, including myself, have complained about how much space a sewing room takes up, but that takes up all the space. Yes, I realize it's not a sewing machine, but it's a loom. And who has a loom in their house? It took up the whole room. The loom took the room. Sorry. Another hidden Mickey. Whoa. Okay. dark closet. Ooh. The schoolroom. There it is. Wow. I know, friends, I probably shouldn't be in this part of the house, but it's just hard to resist. It's getting really humid, probably because I've been walking around in that house for a little while, but it's getting humid and the skies are looking dark. I do not have my rain gear on my person, so I'm gonna make my way back to the museum part of this tour. This building behind me is the Van Tavern. This was the local bar. There was a store here, and it was also a place you could stay, and a restaurant, and a small opening here on the back of the building where the owner didn't want to serve you inside, serve you outside. Tiny window. Salgi Tweliha Sani Hai, or the Cherokee Phoenix. This was the building where that was made. Printing office. My dad worked in a print shop at the Ohio State University and the Alumni Association. It was a lot different than that setup there. Time to head back inside, get out of this heat, and check out the museum. Boat. See you. Very cool display on the Cherokee language. Interesting.
Today, thousands of Cherokees still speak the Cherokee language. 1800 are still favorites of the Cherokee people. Many,
Speaking of printing, this was from the original printing press, it says.
I'm gonna go ahead and get the little lights.
which made heaven and earth.
So this was one of the original
Yes.
prints. How old is this?
To hear examples of words
193
pronounced in
years old
English and Cherokee,
And you can see the signature at top.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you're interested in visiting new Echota, costs $7 for adults, $5.50 for kids. As I was leaving, my new friend Cole Gregory, the state park ranger in there, was telling me some really interesting facts about some of the buildings and pieces of furniture that are here in the property. A lot of the buildings are recreations. There's only one house, the house that we really walked through. That's the only original house, but all the other buildings are placed exactly where they would have been. So the tavern, the print shop, and that newspaper is original. That is one of the original newspapers that was made in that shop. And another fun fact about the print shop, more copies of that newspaper, the Phoenix, exist in London than they do here in the United States. That's because it was really popular in London at the time, and all of it was printed right out of that little tiny building back there. Actually, that was a recreation, but the building just like it. By the way, it is pronounced New Echota, not Echota, like I said in the beginning of the video. Friends, I'm glad you joined me here today at this very unique piece of history, American Indian history. Thanks for joining me out here. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Check it out, it's sunny. I'm squinting and I'm getting rained on right now. It's gotta be a rainbow somewhere.